The United Nations Security Council introduced restrictions on oil supplies to North Korea back in 2017. Pyongyang came under further sanctions for testing nuclear weapons. Then Moscow supported restrictions on the DPRK, but in the spring of this year, it once again violated international agreements. Deliveries that began on March 17th are the first documented export of petroleum products from the Federation to North Korea. According to analysts, Moscow could transfer up to 125,000 barrels of oil products to Pyongyang.
These oil suppliers are a direct violation of the sanctions regime, which is now on the verge of collapse. What we see now is a clear arms for oil barter arrangement that openly violated sanctions and demonstrates the trajectory of Russia's path to a criminal state. Hugh Griffiths, former seconded to the United Nations panel of experts monitoring the UN sanctions on North Korea, in a comment to the Financial Times.
Experts are confident that the import of petroleum products to North Korea could have started earlier after Pyongyang transferred ammunition to Moscow. As analysts from the South Korean National Intelligence Service wrote, since August 2023, North Korea had sent 10 shipments of weapons to Russia.
The security mechanisms provided for in the United Nations do not work for a simple reason, because Russia is a permanent member of the UN Security Council and parasites on this. Bypassing the veto is very difficult. The UN was created in 1945 by the victorious countries over the Nazi Germany with very different directions. On the one hand, the Soviet Union, on the other hand, the USA and Great Britain, which sought how to maintain balance in the world.
Putin thanked Kim Jong-un for the supply of weapons not only with oil tankers. In February 2024, citing American intelligence data, the New York Times wrote that Moscow had unblocked 9 of the $30 million of frozen North Korean assets that were stored in a Russian financial institution. Also, according to intelligence officials, a North Korean shell company may have opened an account with another Russian bank.
The banking arrangements could be significant for North Korea, which relies on imports to sustain much of its economy. The relationships could facilitate transactions not only within Russia, but also outside the country. North Korea could leverage Moscow's connections to a handful of countries, including Turkey and South Africa, that still conduct trade with Russia after it was hit with international sanctions over the Ukraine war. The New York Times publication writes, We are also talking perhaps about technology and these unexpected, relatively speaking, breakthroughs by North Korea in the development of missile weapons, and the intensification of these tests that are taking place indicate whether it is the case that the Russian Federation is going another way too, namely cooperation in the development of North Korea nuclear weapons.
There is no public evidence that Russia and North Korea are cooperating in the field of nuclear weapons at this moment. However, the US government announced that Moscow could transfer nuclear and ballistic technologies to Pyongyang already back in the autumn of 2023. Reported by Anna Nichenko, Larissa Zubenko, UATV News.